Hey everybody, it's me again. Sorry I'm in glasses. I left my contacts in a little too long, and if it glares, I apologize. And you may have also noticed I have a different hairstyle, and the last couple of weeks that I've had it, I've decided to investigate and study up on the history of dreadlocks, and wanted to kind of share with everybody what I have learned. It's very, very interesting. Most people, I think, I could be wrong, attribute the dreadlock hairstyle to Jamaica and Rastafarianism, which is not wrong at all. And that is actually what a kind of the only thing that I knew about this hairstyle. I mean, that it was typically from Jamaica. But when I was starting to read into the history of dreadlocks and how far it reaches, I was really surprised. I had no idea. So, there's not really a consensus on where exactly the hairstyle started from, but there's evidence that goes back thousands of years and has basically this hairstyle has been in every culture in history, which I think is fascinating. Um, so spiritually, if you go back to India and Hinduism, there is a god named Shiva, and Shiva is depicted as having dreadlocks. And then you go over to Egypt, and during archaeological digs, they have found mummies that had still had dreadlocks intact in their hair on their head. So they've been around for like a long time. And then you have references throughout history, like the Romans said that the Celts wore their hair in like snakes. And there's evidence in Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, all of these different religions from all over the world. There's evidence that they wore their hair in dreads. Then you also have the whole take on the hair as being a source of power and strength. You see Samson from the Bible. He had incredible strength. And there's a verse in there that says his 7 locks of hair, I believe. And a lot of people interpret this as him having dreadlocks. The Nazarenes, people of Nazareth, where Jesus was from, uh, also would take vows, and at certain times, if they took a certain vow, poverty, um, silence, whatever the vow may have been, they would start allowing their hair to dread. They wouldn't cut it. And so, I'm just putting this out there as a theory. Possibly Jesus could have had dreadlocks. It's possible. Pretty cool possibility, but possible. Um, and then you have the whole idea that the body has a lot of life force energy, and that energy exits through the head. So there's a belief that tying or knotting your hair will help prevent or slow the escape of that life energy or chi or prana or kai, whatever term you want to use. And then, of course, there's the those that believe wearing their hair in dreadlocks is a way of saying that they don't um, care a lot about the vanity that people put on physical appearance. So then we go to fast forward forever, and you're at like the 1918 turn of like world Civil War into Industrial Revolution. So that whole time period, and you have the Rastafarianism movement in Jamaica, and that's a whole nother video of the beliefs and the way that all developed and why. But in the 1930s, it began to gain a little bit more momentum, I guess. And part of that culture within that religious sect of people, I guess, is that they wear their hair in dreadlocks. And as most people know, Bob Marley was a Rastafarian. And now, today, through his music and his hairstyle and the way he's influenced pop culture, almost everybody knows what dreadlocks are. So that brings us to today. And there was a couple of like articles that really got me thinking about why I did this, and even one said, no matter the reason or the belief system that you have, when someone asks you why you have dreadlocks, you need to have an answer for them. And so I was like, well, I've always loved the hairstyle. I've always wanted the hairstyle. I may not have hair one day. I should get it done. And I just kind of felt like that wasn't a good enough reason. So I started thinking about like really what it was. And a couple of the things that I was reading in these articles hit me really hard. So I feel like I'm a very spiritual person. I don't much care about vanity. Um, so I think for me it's an expression of individualism. I feel like by doing this radical change, I have set myself apart a little bit more and embraced the fact that I am unique and I'm an individual, and no matter how much I want to unite and help others, I still need to be me and I still need to have a voice for myself, which is kind of what this channel, this page is all about. And maybe doing this, the action of getting this done, is another piece in the puzzle of my life journey that's going to carry me forward to something else. So that is my reason. You now have it. That is it for me. As always, I'm 5 by 5. Make sure you are the change in the world and make it count.